Hi and welcome to my blog. I don't know about you, but I can't function properly in the morning without at least one mug of black coffee and another of black tea. So please bear with me. I've decided to shoot this entire episode in black and white. It's probably my favourite medium when shooting stills, and I'd like to see how it works in video. Now I know that black and white is not to everyone's taste, but I started photography with rolls of Kodak and Ilford black and white films, so it's a natural thing to me. This opening sequence was shot on a Fuji X-T20 using the Acros film simulation. Now that kettle is actually bright red and the mug is a lovely shade of blue, but just look at how closely the two render in black and white. It's that sort of understanding that is one of the keys to successful black and white imagery, I think. It's certainly one of the challenges when you're out in the field trying to think in black and white. The romantic artists and poets of the late 18th century were inspired by the forces of nature to create an art of the sublime. Photographer Michael Freeman described it as how to enjoy a perfect storm, and that was very apt stood on the beach at Elgol in November 2015 as the rain lashed down and the wind whipped with such fury that I genuinely feared that even someone of my size and weight might just be blown away by the force. Joseph Addison wrote in 1712 about scenes that were, at the same time, as dreadful and harmless, so that the more frightful appearance they make, the greater is the pleasure we receive from the sense of our own safety. I must admit, I've rarely been as pleased to retreat to the safety of the van as I was that day. For me, black and white is a far better medium for portraying this sense of drama, especially when you consider that, digitally at least, the photographer can get away with adding a level of contrast in a black and white image that would totally destroy the integrity of the individual colours if he wasn't working in shades of grey. Modern digital cameras do make black and white photography more accessible, I think. Shooting with film requires an understanding of how different colours will render in shades of grey. Think back to the red kettle and blue mug. By setting a black and white picture style on the camera, the user can instantly see how the scene will reproduce without any colour. I shoot in RAW, which means that whilst I can view a black and white version on the camera, the image file retains all the colour information too, so I can make my own conversions later. I prefer to do it myself rather than rely on the camera algorithms to do the work for me, although I must confess to a weakness for the Fuji Acros film simulation for my X-T20. Black and white isn't just something that can be used for making dramatic landscape photographs though, although it is pretty good at it. I use black and white for many different subjects, for portraits, for street shooting, urban photography. Some days it's all I shoot. Now, your mileage may vary as the expression goes, but I hope to create another black and white video shortly using my street and urban photography as the subject. Until then, take care.